Okay, here's a quick look at the E-mini S&P for Tuesday, August the 3rd, 2010. When we had left yesterday at this time, I was suggesting that the 17 to 18 area would likely act as support. There's 18 and there's 17. So you can see in the overnight session, that was basically the low. I think the actual low was 1675. No further movement higher. By the way, this was yesterday's profile, and this was today's. The one in between, of course, is what occurred overnight. And so the yesterday's high obviously held. It dipped a little bit below support, but nothing dramatic. Mostly just a sideways continuation. And then when the market opened, it had a news reaction that sent the market lower. It got down here to, I think it was about 11. No, I'm sorry, 13, 1350, and then basically rallied from that point and made a new high. But it did have pretty good rejection here off of the high, and then backed off, and then just basically closed in this area here, which was more or less a consolidation from yesterday. So we've really got a sideways movement going on right now. Possible break in it tomorrow. So the prices that we're going to be monitoring is around the 21 to 22 area, and then down all the way from around 15 to 16. So 15 to 16 support, 20 to 21 is resistance. That's not that's a very tight range. So the market will likely take one of those areas out tomorrow. However, I do think the market is likely to be in sort of a give and take consolidation type mode here, with the anticipation of the all important employment news to be released on Friday. So I think that's what we're going to kind of suspect is probably some fairly sloppy action here back and forth for another couple of days. It could well be. So anyway, just kind of put that in the back of your mind as far as your trading goes tomorrow. We also like to take a look at the market profiles from only the regular trading hours. And then of course we have our software here, which helps us identify trades within the day time frame. So the market profiles that we're looking at, I was just talking about, helps us determine the condition of the market on a day-to-day basis, and then we drill down in time to within the day with our software to get a good handle on what we think is going on there. And so we were still in the up mode, and our first trigger here, as you can see, was this long trade. Wasn't filled until here, but it did have a nice bounce to it, so that trade worked out great. We did have a short trade based here. There was an entry here. It was against our filter, which was green. So that, even though that was a mechanical trade, or because it was a mechanical trade, was not taken, because our intraday bias is up and our intraday bias is up. So going against the grain there would not take that trade. This short trade actually was never filled, because of course in our trades, the dashed line here indicates the exact price that we want to get hit at. Once the trade is set up and triggered, that dashed line will be produced and will stay there until the market hits that price. So on this one here, you can see we had this little dash just up here. It hit our entry just minutes or so later, did bounce, hit our first objective, and then came back down. So just a break even, or maximum was a loss of 3 ticks on that trade. So this was actually our first trade of the day. This was the second trade. The market came in. You can see we had another long trade here. So this is our third trade of the day. Entered long here, and this had a nice run up. So we're able to be on board on that and make some profit on that trade. So the fourth trade that we did have triggered was a very late trade over here, as you can see. And this is kind of borderline because it was 15 minutes to the top of the hour. And those kind of trades, we really only want to take them if there's a very known intraday and intraday bias going on. And even though we have the intraday is up, and we did have a green filter here, the market was obviously in pretty much a give and take back and forth kind of movement. So as a result, it was a little bit more of an aggressive trade for those reasons. And unfortunately, it didn't move right away. It triggered us into the trade here, came back, stopped us out, and then had the rally. So it sort of gave us that two-step. But the auction process was nicely defined. And when you get that late in the day, obviously things become a lot more uncertain and volatile, especially in the condition of the market, which was mostly horizontal development. So anyway, that's a look at the market for today. Any questions or comments, please get a hold of us. info@eminidaytrader.com. Always enjoy listening to your comments or questions. So that'll be it for today. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and we'll see you again tomorrow.